So, I'm now going to show you what happens when you want to actually start the game. So I've got two instances of the game here. On the right we've got the editor, which is also the host. On the left we have got a client. We'll join a room on that, and as you see in the player schema, we register the player and they exist here. And we'll just close that log because warnings don't count. Anyway, what I've also done is I have added a bot, as you can see in the second team, just to show you what happens when you register a bot as well. Right now we don't actually have any AI code, but in terms of setting up the players, everything works. We just haven't implemented AI yet. We're literally on the first week of the project. We're a bit ahead. Now, we will simply be a gunner on this screen, and all the map details are loaded. That's good. We ready up, and on the host we can launch. So what you'll notice when we launch is the vehicle basically splits its control scheme such that the player who selects driver controls some parts of the vehicle and the player who selects gunner controls, well, the gun. So it's basically splitting that up and actually synchronizing how that works. So how, if we launch, we go for a synchronized loading screen, loads a little bit, and here we go. So on the right we can drive, and on the left we can look around, and basically we would be doing shooting on that. I mean, we need a much better, Jed's working on it, we need a much better gun controller right now, but this is quick and dirty right now. And it synchronizes and is pretty fine. I remember this is actually running through the internet, so this is good, isn't it? Alright, so what happens is if we get our testing truck in the scene view, which should be this one. Yes, this one. Come on. My computer's been on for like 36 hours. Yeah. So when the vehicle is spawned, what happens is this script here called network player vehicle is called. There's a method on it basically called spawn vehicle. And what it does is all of the normal control scripts on the vehicle should be disabled by default. This is how we should be doing it. We can force them to be disabled later, but for now the setup is everything where the user or an AI can impact the vehicle, just disable it. And then what the code does, the vehicle is spawned, it looks who's supposed to be in the vehicle, and it consults the player schema, which we discussed in the last diary, to go, the gunner belonging to this vehicle is this player. What I'm going to do is send a remote procedure call to this person. In fact, you've actually got to send it to everyone and then only actually do it if the names match. But essentially, you're just sending a remote procedure call to a single player. And it goes, oh yeah, you're a player gunner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enable these two scripts for you. And if we look here, that's what it does. Well, obviously, this isn't a gunner, this screen's a driver. But what it would do is it would enable the simple gunner controls and the simple gunner camera. What it's actually done instead, sorry, because this one's a driver, is it has turned on our interface car driver and input driver, which is there. Ooh, look, I can move myself around. Whoop. Anyway, yep. So that's what that does. And it does one more thing, which is because everything that we need to synchronize needs to have a transferred photon view. So not only does it do that, but it also finds the gunner and transfers ownership of the photon view to a player, and that is the player class, which is introduced in Photon, which describes like a networked player. And as you can see here, the creator was the host. However, we have transferred it to the person on the left, hence why we can actually look around and all that. We have transferred that to the player on the left, who is called player 1. So is minus false, and that all works. That's what we do. Now, in the case of an AI, what the framework will be is only the host shall control AIs. So basically, if either the gunner or the driver, because of course we can have hybrid systems, like we can have a human driver and a bot gunner, or a bot driver and a human gunner, it will put that part of the vehicle at the control of the AI systems running on the master client instance. And basically, one player will do all the AI calculations and everyone else will just mirror it. And it will just look like it's a normal bot doing normal bot things. So it should be good. And it transfers the ownership of the photon view. Once again, if we see the photon view, these all belong to the master client, because this is a bot, as well as the gunner hardpoint. That also belongs to a bot. So it belongs to the host. And yeah, that's basically it. Obviously, we haven't actually enabled any controls because we don't need to, because we haven't actually implemented any bots for that. But yeah, I mean, we can go back to the game and we can drive around and it works and all that stuff. It's a little janky because the Photon network really hates us pausing it in the editor. That's the only reason why it's janking so much. But yeah, that is a little bit on vehicle synchronization. So basically, you get a photon view, and you have one of the scripts I made about synchronizing. So here we go. We have photon rigid body view, and this script. Well, editing to disable and play mode. You'd need this script, which basically just synchronizes all the stats of a rigid body and does lag compensation and all that. So that is how we separate the control scheme of the vehicle. We have a vehicle with all disabled scripts, and then for the respective players that need certain scripts enabled, we just enable them. And things should be good. Things should be good. Anyway, yeah, I hope that's been pretty good. There's a few more things, but it's not really worth discussing them. Members of my team can shout at me if they need a bit more. After this, I'm going to be working on projectiles and lag compensated projectiles, as well as not the weapon control system, but simply the ability to mount a polymorphic weapon object to a gun. So the gun and the gun control scripts would reference the weapon class, and that's what I'm doing over the next week. So yeah, that's a dev diary. Cool. Bye.